تعالى استنى أحد ياخد معانا.
نقرأ أنا وياكي آية قرآن ونقرأ قرآن وأدعي شوي. شو رأيك؟ نحكي بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم. برافو عليكي، هيك حافظة. ايش يا عمري؟
That was from TRT World, and it was published on February 16, 2024. This has been on my mind a lot. The 6-year young Palestinian girl murdered by the Zionists. So, first thing I'm going to do is... well, I've done the first thing I've done. This is the first thing I'm doing for the Bundists movement today. I'm very busy, and I'm actually kind of unreachable. So, and I do apologize. It's just I'm working on something very heavy right now. And, yeah, I'm going to provide the first link in the description below. There's going to be a link to every feature video that comes from another channel in the description below. However, the first link is to the last Passover video that this channel ever produced. It's one of those videos that was made before May 27, 2019. It's called Passover in Palestine. I'm pretty sure that's what I had begged Donna to let us call it. It was an idea that me and Donna had, but like most things, I did the bulk of the work and the bulk of the writing. I do strongly suggest that people watch that video. In fact, people should check the link in the description below, watch that video before watching this one, because I think that that's an important archive. It's a good review in light of where things are today and how they had been then. But anyway, this next video, which I'm going to play, was uploaded on April 11th, 2024. The exact dates of the event are unknown to me. But what you're looking at is the resistance of Meir Sharim. Meir Sharim, the Jewish Palestinians in Jerusalem, which predate the existence of the Zionist state, which was founded in 1948. Whereas Meir Sharim was founded somewhere around 1870 or so, or 1880. I actually do give the proper date of when Meir Sharim was founded in other videos on this channel, but you know, like, I'm kind of doing a million things at once, so I do apologize. But you get the basic idea. The simple truth being that Meir Sharim completely predates the state of Israel. The inhabitants consider themselves to be Jewish Palestinians. And like I said, I don't exactly know when this was uploaded, but I do know that this was I'm pretty sure this was a Purim protest. On the holiday of Purim, we're supposed to drown out the word Hanem whenever we hear it. Hanem was the last descendant of the children of Amalek, who we are told to wipe out to the last man, woman, and child. However, if you know about any of the actual rabbinical understanding of any concept of being put to death as being like exiled or cut off the people, and to kill every last child of Amalek wouldn't be literal. It would be literally to confiscate their children and re-educate them as Jewish. So actually, in fact, if you want to know from the point of view of the Mizura what Neturei Karta says, what Meir Sharim and all other affiliates, and by the way, Neturei Karta started in Meir Sharim. If you want to know what the Mizura would say about Amalek, they would say that the state of Israel is Amalek. If you're looking for a physical, historical Amalek, I think you're going to be quite disappointed because it's kind of a fiction invented by Ezra. I should also point out that the stuff that Ezra's legacy does not carry over into Orthodox Judaism. Orthodox Judaism completely reinterprets Ezra. Ezra was the product of his time, favored by the Persian Empire, and he had a lot to do with the establishment of the country known as Judea, which was a refuge for the children of Judah, Benjamin, and their Levites, whereas the 10 tribes gathered under Joseph and their Levites, and that is what remains of that is known as the Samaritans, which will be covered in this very video. Dr. Weizfeld's trip to the museum to the Samaritan, Dr. Weizfeld being at the Samaritan Museum will be covered here. So welcome to Haggadah Passover. Welcome to Haggadah-Palestine. Passover, or Pesach in Hebrew and Yiddish, is one of the most sacred of the high holidays. It lasts 8 nights, and one of the nights is expected that you are to do a Seder, and that takes a long time, and Passover Seder is very important, obviously, and the oldest of the house, or the head of the house, reads from a book called the Haggadah. And that's why we have this Haggadah Passover. This video is Haggadah Passover. And we will be getting through a lot of things here. And to everybody who's trying to reach me, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be available for a little bit longer. I'm very busy with a lot of things, and I kind of have to unplug from most internet activity at this time. But I will be back with a lot of stuff, not on this channel, but on my personal channel, Comrade Net. This is not my personal channel. This is a channel shared between myself and Dr. Weizfeld for the express purpose of this newspaper channel, the Bundists movement. So anyway, like I said, this next video was uploaded on April 11, 2024.
לא רוצה.
When Israeli police arrested 2 protesters on a monthly march against the state in the Meir Sharim neighborhood of Jerusalem, accusing them of waving Palestinian flags while disrupting the peace, they made an unexpected discovery. Members of the community carry their own identity cards. When asked for his state-issued identity card, one of the men instead showed the police a card written partly in Hebrew and partly in Arabic. The card displayed the words Palestinian Jew in Hebrew, Arabic, and English, against the background of the Palestinian flag and the titled certificate of the one who refused to bow down, referencing the story of Megillah, in which Mordecai refused to bow to the anti-Semite Haman. That's Haman, the child of Amalek, by the way. Well done, Meir Sharim, treating the so-called Israelis for what they actually are. The children of Amalek, not children of Israel. Well done, well done. Because said they have the Mizorah. The card read, "This certifies that said name is a Jew who believes that the Torah governs his private life as well as political matters, and he is ready to stand up with self-sacrifice against any government calling itself Jewish that does not recognize the authority of our holy Torah, should that government try to control him." Ah! Haredim. You know what Haredim mean? What Haredim means? It means fear of the divine. Haredim, the God-fearing ones. Which Haredi is actually the Hebrew term for ultra-Orthodox, by the way. The publicity surrounding the card brought to light the fact that hundreds of members of this community carry similar ID cards, consider themselves Palestinian Jews, and await the peaceful dismantlement of the State of Israel. Personally, I don't think it can be peaceful, but, again, these are the people with the Mizorah. This is where Neturei Karta actually comes from. During the arrests, the entire community rallied together to block the van carrying the arrested protesters, demonstrating their solidarity and resistance against the police actions. The protesters were part of a monthly peaceful demonstration against the state. The police carrying out the arrests were disguised as Orthodox Jews, just as they have used Arab disguises when operating in the West Bank. After the arrests, the community came out in even larger numbers to join the anti-Zionist march, support the arrestees, and demand their release. Absolutely, absolutely. Meir Sharim's Jews are no strangers to police oppression and brutality. Recently, police have stepped up their operations in the neighborhood, trying to enforce a ban on displaying the Palestinian flag. But the residents refuse to be intimidated and continue to resist proudly and openly. And as we say in Arabic, Alhamdulillah. That's because you really shouldn't say Hallelujah and then Yod and then Hey. You shouldn't say that term. You should say the Arabic term, Alhamdulillah. But anyway, yeah, Alhamdulillah. All right. This next presentation is actually a playlist from Dr. Abraham Weizfeld, which is fused together as one. It's supposed to be 16 videos in all. However, the second video seems to be missing. Like every presentation here, there is a link in the description so that you can get to the original playlist. But for some reason, one it goes from 1 of 16 to 3 of 16. It actually skips 2 of 16. I can't find 2 of 16 anywhere, and it doesn't seem to be in the playlist. But the 15 videos have been mushed together into one presentation. They were put together in order. I would like to say a couple things. It's very important that people stop saying Zionism is Jewish supremacy, because it's not. It's not Jewish supremacy, and it's not Judean supremacy. And yes, there is Hebrew distinction between Jewish and Judean. And Judite. Judite meaning straight from the tribe of Judah. Judite, Judean, and Jewish are actually 3 distinct words in Hebrew. Part of the confusion is that these 3 words are not distinguishable in Greek, unfortunately. I mean, and I don't think that that's some malicious and thing from the Greeks. I mean, really, the truth be told, the 3 words Jewish, Judean, and Judite have common origin in their words. If you want to hear what they sound like in Hebrew, Jewish is actually Yehudi. Judite is actually Yehudahi, and Judean is Yehudan. But anyway, I thought I might make that clear. It's also important to note that the final, much of what you might hear here probably won't make much sense unless you know about the documentary hypothesis. Which I don't disagree with the documentary hypothesis, but I don't think the documentary hypothesis makes any text less valid or more valid, being quite clear with you. It is just simply a fact that the Samaritan text is older. It's also a fact, however, that the Judean side did try to it was really more the Judeans trying to disenfranchise the Samaritans, not the other way around. There is sectarianism on both sides, but it's really the Judeans that disenfranchise the Samaritans, not the other way around, and I do want to emphasize that. The Samaritan Torah, according to all carbon dating and all evidence that is known, is the oldest surviving text. Not necessarily the oldest text to exist, the oldest surviving text. Whereas the Rabbinite text, otherwise known as the Masoretic text, is much newer and actually more of the final version. It's also important to understand that the only way to understand what Ezra is doing, or what anybody is doing past the book of Samuel, the only way to understand and contextualize scriptures past that is through understanding the Zohar, knowing what the Masorah is, understanding the Rabbinite traditions, learning what the Talmud says and other midrashim. Otherwise, if you read that stuff, you'd basically be reading Persian pro-Hebrew propaganda, and I'm not kidding. It wouldn't make sense to read it in in an original context. Now, Zionists try to do that, and they do 2 things when they do that. They spit on the Masorah of Moses when they do that, number 1. And number 2, they are misusing history. Because the context in which Ezra existed was a context of where the tribes of Judah and Benjamin had been in exile, and they had been allowed to return to Palestine with the blessing of the Persian Empire. So it's a completely different context there. Persia or Iran is within the region. Europe, the United States, Britain, all of that is outside the region. Zionism has no credibility to stand on. Even in its more brutal context, even in a more brutal context, it has nothing to stand on. Not to say that supremacy of any kind is good. It's not. If you want to know the difference between Judean supremacy and Jewish supremacy, what Ezra did was Judean supremacy. Like the whole disenfranchising of the Samaritans, that was Judean supremacy. Jewish supremacy is a bit different. I did explain all of this in Anti-Crusade part 1 of 1, sorry, part 1 of 4, part 2 of 4, part 3 of 4, and part 4 of 4. Particularly part 4 of 4, I do explain these things in particular detail. But just to recap, this is what Jewish supremacy would be. Jewish supremacy is pretty much when you force other people to convert to Judaism. Historical context being that it was perfectly justified for the Maccabees to reclaim Judea, particularly reclaiming the temple and, sanctifying it. That's where the story of the 8 days of oil comes from, the miracle. But once they had recaptured it, mind you, it's nothing but justifiable. It's perfectly justifiable. It's a good thing that they took back the temple. What's bad is that the Maccabee dynasty resulted from that. And the Maccabee dynasty was one of the most tyrannical periods in Judean history. The Maccabean dynasty forced Edomites to convert to Judaism, and this is actually one of the genuine precursors to Christianity. Some have asked, how did the guy from Nazareth spread his message so fast? And the answer is, whatever the Jesus movement was, and I actually have a lot I could say about that, but I don't want to waste time here, but whatever the Jesus movement was, basically appealed more to non-Jewish people than it did to Jewish people. One of the people that we know that this influenced the most was the Edomites. That's the children of Esau. From Abraham came Ishmael, then Isaac. From Isaac came Esau and Jacob. And it is Jacob that carries the favor, and it is not Esau. Esau didn't even care about maintaining family heritage. The Edomites were known for, not being consistent in Semitic language, despite the fact that they were Semites. In fact, during the time of Jesus, it is already known that the primary language of the Edomites was what? Greek. And what is Greek? Greek is the Christian language. Not Latin. Not Latin. That's the Western Church. No. Greek is the Christian language. And what was the primary language of the Edomites? Greek. It was Greek. Yes, it was Greek. That is during the time of Jesus. So these are very important things to know. As far as whether the Samaritans actually supported a king or not, I'm not sure whether they did or not. I have heard decent sources tell me that they did support a king, but after Solomon, they really became highly suspicious of kings. I don't know how accurate that is or not. I do know that Samuel, the prophet, really did warn against kings, just as Dr. Weizfeld had said. However, let me point something else out to you. King Solomon and King David before him, the kingdoms that they ran, historically speaking, in a more factual context, would have been petty chiefdoms. Which means that the scriptures, what it says about those kingdoms, is probably deliberately exaggerated. Of course, this is not a problem for me, because one thing that I'm tired of is people taking the scriptures too literally, because I'm sorry, but I don't think they were meant to be taken literally. I think that we collectively started thinking that they were history books. And I think that that is a mistake. Not only a mistake, I think that this is carried in, this problem has dangerously carried into both the Christians and the Muslims, which worries me. That being said, this is one of the reasons why I'm working on a project for revolutionary Orthodox Judaism, which acknowledges ultra-Orthodox Judaism and modern Orthodox Judaism, as well as a bunch of other types of traditional and Orthodox Judaism that is not recognized typically. And that is a project I'm still working on. One of the things that you pick up from the main speaker is that there is, well, Muslims tend to assimilate Jewish and Christian when they're brought in. It happens. At the same time, I don't think it's supposed to happen, because if a Muslim marries a Christian or a Jewish woman, those children typically are supposed to be raised in the mother's faith. Not all Muslims have, in fact, I would say most Muslims throughout history have not actually upheld this very well. This is not against Islam. There's a lot of good things to say about Islam, but you'll notice that Samaritans will convert Jewish and they'll convert Christian into the Samaritan religion. Convert, that means that you drop being Jewish and you drop being Christian in this context, but they won't convert Muslims. And I understand that, because Muslims tend to absorb things. But yeah, who's the father of the Muslims? Ishmael. Who's the father of the Jewish people? Jacob, same as the father of the Samaritans. And who's the father of the Christians? Esau. It's not controversial to say so. However, I've rambled a bit too much about this. This was uploaded on June 17, 2016. I don't know when the actual date of this footage actually took place, but I do know that it was uploaded on June 17, 2016. And I do hope everybody enjoys. This is quite the national treasure, what you're about to see. Please pay very close attention. After seeing this entire video, you will see in the description below a link to the original playlist. Happy Pesach, and you are watching Haggadah-Palestine.
Yes, please continue.
يبارك شيما ويشمارك يا شيما فانو إيلك ويا إنك يشا شيما فانو إيلك ويا شملك شالم يشتبى إلوهم لتقالى الله عد شمع إسرائيل.
Oh, yes.
أتجمع زي شمع إسرائيل.
Yes.
شيما إسرائيل شيما إلوين وشيما عد. זה רק את נתתי עול לשמע ישראל, רק את הבס הזה, אותיות. פה יפתח, היהודים אומרים יפתח, אנחנו אומרים יפתח. شما لك ات وصاروا الطب ات الشم التت اتماتر ارسك بيتو البرك اتكل ماشي يدك يكا ايشو ايابك لك وطع الباما تما تدرك ماذا قوم فنحن blessing in every home, we must put the Yishma Israel.
I remember.
Or blessing be Barashot or Shorot speaking of blessing from the from the Torah, from the Bibles.
From the original Torah.
Okay, we must put this in the every home.
Yes.
Every home.
So the Torah is the Torah of Moses.
Torah of Moses. Not the Torah shall Jews.
Yes, of Ezra, the Ezra edition.
Not that Ezra Super.
That's
the Breshit. ראשון יקרא שמות יקרא במדבר דברים. The five Bibles.
the five books of Moses.
The five of Moses.
Yes.
The five Bibles of Moses.
Yes.
We must make what everything what putting in the Bibles.
Yes.
That we sing it, we bring in the Saturday.
Yes.
We bring in holidays.
Yes.
בפסח, סוכות, ראש שנה. אתה יודע מה זה? ראש שנה, מה זה פסח, מה זה סוכות?
יום כיפור,
יום כיפור. אנחנו, the 5 days, the holidays.
Yes.
Of the Samaritan.
Yes.
What is the 7 days? ראשית כל, חג הפסח, מוסות, עלייה לרגל שני, שלישית, מעמד הר סיני. מה זה מעמד הר סיני? שבועות. אחרי, after the Saturday of the Pesach, we numbers the שבועות. 7 שבועות פלוס יום מעמד הר סיני, מעמד התורה, יום הביקורים.
Oh, yes.
זה השלישי. אמרנו חג הסוכות, חג המסות, חג המסות, עלייה לרגל, יום השבעי של חג המסות, זה סוף חג המסות, אחרי 50 יום מחג המסות, הוא יום החמישי, חג הבורים, ביקורים, זה שלישי, the three, the four, יום, the day, the Sunday of the חודש השביעי, the holiday or 7 months, חודש השביעי בעברית. 7 months, יום, the day or the Sunday of the holiday, the months 7, after 7 months, we 6 months, after 6 months, 7, the Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah.
Yes. The 7th month is Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah.
Yes.
זה יהיה חמישי. השישי הוא אמרנו חג המסות, חג עלייה לרגל, חג יום הביקורים, הרביעי, חג the Sunday of the month, 7 months. After that, יום הכיפור.
Yes.
The Samaritan bring.
Yes. It's very similar to Islamic dress.
Yeah, well, it's like more like the Turkish one, I think. It's the Samaritans' outfit when they go to pray. They wear like this, you know?
Yes.
Do you know why they wear? We call it like jubba. It's like a longer dress. So when the Samaritans are like praying, they knee and they bow on the ground. Okay?
Yes.
It somehow looks so much like Muslims, right? When you
Yes.
pray, so sometimes they spend like more than 3, 4, 5 hours praying continuously. So they need something that is really comfortable for them while kneeling and bowing.
Yes.
That's why they wear like this. You know? That's why. But why this man is wearing green? Because this is the outfit of the high priest. He shows
yes.
that he is the high priest. And when I say a high priest, I mean the leader of the Samaritans.
Yes.
Okay?
And this is a picture of the current high priest?
No, actually, the previous one, but there's a picture of the current one.
Yes.
So no. Okay. And for example, here you can record this is the Samaritan Sukkah, so the Samaritan's tabernacle. It's a feast, by the way. And in this feast, Sukkot, that's right. And in this feast, they hang fruits. Can you see the fruits here?
Yes.
Inside their houses, but of course not the plastic ones.
Yes.
Real ones. And this is, for example, the map that talks about the Israeli wanderings in Sinai Desert for 40 years.
Oh, there's a map of this.
Yeah, actually, this is the result of the studies of the manager of the museum. He's a researcher, and he came up with this conclusion. And he depend, and his source of information was the Torah,
Yes.
the Samaritan's Torah.
Yes, I've been reading little bits about, the passage of the wanderings, with Moses. And this is very important.
Yeah. For example, like this is the place that they have been through 42 different stations while they were lost in the desert. And the most important thing, that this is the place where they got the 10 Commandments at Mount Sinai near Santa Catrina.
This is in.
Yeah, Mount Sinai near
This
Santa
is what I
Catrina.
read. This is considered to be in Yemen now.
No, in Egypt, Mount Sinai.
Oh, this is the Sinai.
Oh, yeah.
I read another account which said that Mount Sinai was here in Yemen.
Yeah, but
But
for
I think
the-
this is more likely.
Actually, the majority, or let's say, the majority of Christians, majority of Muslims and Jewish, and the same thing for the Samaritans, it's in here, on Mount Sinai.
Yes.
I mean, as for me, for example, I'm
From
a Muslim
my-
would believe
Yes,
it's in
from
Mount
what I
Sinai.
remember of, because when I was young, I was taught the Torah, you know, to translate from Hebrew to English.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, corresponds
Yeah,
to
Mount
what.
Sinai is like, the majority agrees on that it's on Mount Sinai. Okay, and what else can you here see? For example, this is the Samaritans' matzot. Do you know what I mean by the matzot?
Yes.
The
Oh,
unleavened bread. Okay, you can
I'm just going to make a good copy of this map.
No problem.
This was 40 years of wandering.
Yeah, 40 years of wandering in Sinai Desert.
And then this is the end of the journey.
Yeah, at Jericho.
This is where Moses died.
Nebo site.
But
That's
Moses, he never went into Palestine.
right. According to Samaritans, no.
That's right. Yeah, according to the Torah, that's what I learned as well.
I think, but no, there's others who say like from other religions that maybe into nobody knows actually. Let's go back like to what we know right now. Everything I'm telling
This
you.
is matzah. This looks like khubz baladi.
Yeah, actually, this is the Samaritans'
is-
matzot.
Yes, yes.
And everybody use this bread and eat this bread. It's
Yes,
okay.
that's what I prefer when I eat bread.
This is the maror, the bitter herbs.
Oh yes, maror, yes.
Yeah, but because it's here right now, it's not like a fresh one, but
No,
this is
but
how it
it's-
looks like. And it's
yes.
very better, of course, because it's what it is.
Yes.
Okay, for example, here, Samaritan's alphabet. Can you see this one?
Yes.
This is ancient Hebrew.
Yes.
Ancient Hebrew, this is modern Hebrew, this is in English, and how the sound or the pronunciation of the letter. Like, for example, this letter is taf,
Yes.
shan, rish, kof. Can you see it?
Yes.
In. But I will just hint on something. Can you see this word? It means in. And can you see this letter?
Yes.
It has the shape of an eye.
Oh,
And that's
yes.
how the Samaritan's language works.
Yes.
Every single letter represents a part of your body.
Yes.
In your eyes. Here is kaf, your palm. Yud, your hand. And what is rish? We should saw it here. Rish is your head. Here is your head and here is your neck.
Oh yes. Yes.
And sheen is your teeth.
التفسيرات غريبة.
Okay, and for example, here is pictures of the Samaritan's pilgrimage. Can you see here? Did you notice something? Everybody is wearing the outfit that we saw before a minute.
Oh yes.
White outfit covering the heads, and while they're praying, can you see? They are on the ground, kneeling in
Oh
prayer.
yes.
Yeah, this is how the Samaritans' pilgrimage looks like.
The pilgrimage is at the time of Pesach.
عندكم في البيسخ وفي السكوت وفي ايش؟
العروش.
الحصاد.
عيد الحصاد وعيد العروش وعيد
بيسخ. Okay. So,
شو 3 مرات.
3 مرات. So it's on the Pesach, it's on the Sukkot, and it's on the pilgrim.
بس السكوت اخر واحد.
Sukkot أخوات, yeah. البيسخ بس في قبليه اللي هو الحصاد.
حصاد.
Yeah. And there is the harvest. You know the harvest? The feast of the harvest. It's not Shavuot.
Shavuot.
Shavuot is the harvest
Yes.
in English. So they pray on Passover and the Shavuot, the harvest, and on the Sukkot, the tabernacle.
Yes, I
3
think-
feasts, 3 times a year they
I
do
see.
the pilgrimage.
هذا نزول التوراة.
Yes, and this is Isaac's altar. مذبح إسحاق صح؟
هذا مذبح
مذبح إسحاق. Yeah, Isaac's altar. Because the Samaritans believe that when Abraham was asked to do the sacrifices of Isaac,
Yes.
it took a place on
This
Mount
place.
Carmel. Not in Jerusalem, on
Yes.
Mount
Yes.
Carmel.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay.
You can see this where you are the Mount Garden.
Yeah, on the top of the Mount Garden.
Ah.
For example, here's a model. Here, sir. I'm like trying to show you the most important things here, but then we will talk, no worries. Here's the place where they do the Pesach, the Passover. The high priest would come here and sit with the priest, and he starts the prayers. And when he starts the prayers, everybody here, the Samaritans, would be preparing the sheep, and they start slaughtering them. After slaughtering the sheep, they cook them from outside and inside, and you only have the flesh, the meat. Then, can you see these holes in the ground? This is like an oven. You set it on fire, it becomes very good for cooking. So you put the meat under the ground and you cover it. After like a couple of hours, you bring it out, and the Samaritans start eating the meat with two things: the matzot and the unleavened bread. The bitter herbs and the matzot, which is the maror and the matzot. Yeah, that's right. And they should eat very fast. And the Samaritans, this is the Samaritans' Passover, and it's the first feast and the biggest one, I think. And they should do it to remember their exodus, when they exited from Egypt and when they came here, and to be thankful for getting home or getting the Holy Land safe and sound. It's like a thanking feast.
Yes.
And this talks about the split of the two kingdoms. Maybe you know that the Samaritans and the Jewish used to be like one nation, but after the death of King Solomon, came to take the lead after him his son, Rehoboam. The son of King Solomon came with new rules and changes and etc. And one of the Israeli priests represented the majority of the Israelites, and these two had a discussion. The result of this discussion turned into a fight. And the result of this fight, the division of the Hebrew kingdom into two. South, Judea, capital Jerusalem. The leaders are Judah and Benjamin. And northern kingdom called Samaria or Israel, capital Nablus. And the leaders are the other 10 tribes.
But I understand that the Samaritans never took authority from any king, that they refused to take authority from a king, and they refused to recognize either kingdom.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm telling you, according to the Samaritans' point of view, you know.
But the history of the whole Israelite,
It's the major thing. It's about the taxes. Actually, the fight was about the taxes. They didn't want to pay higher taxes, so they split into two different nations. And there's other pictures of the Sukkot. Yeah?
Oh, yes.
This is other pictures of the Sukkot. And what else can I show you? For example, this is the Samaritan's Torah. Let me show it to you. This is how the Samaritan's Torah look like.
Oh, this is an actual Torah.
Yeah. This one is 150 years old, and this one is about 3,000, where it's... I think it's more than 3,000 years old. 3,640 years old, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
This one is in their synagogue. Nobody can see it or touch it except the high priest. Once a year, he brings it out and he starts blessing the people with the Torah in order to get the blessing.
This is one of the oldest versions of the Torah.
This is the oldest one. That they have here. Yeah.
Wow.
And for example, they have these copies, but nowadays, if they want to read from the Torah, they have it like this.
Yes.
You see, a book.
Yes.
And everybody can read it, opens any chapter and start reading it. This is in ancient Hebrew, by the way.
Yes.
Samaritan's Torah in ancient Hebrew.
Yes, this is the ancient Hebrew. Wow.
Well, I think
Excellent.
the Jewish Torah, it's in modern Hebrew.
Yes.
So this is one of the differences as well between Samaritan and Jewish.
Yes, I learned in modern Hebrew.
Yeah. And there is the basic or the major difference between Jewish and Samaritans is the holy place. Jewish believe in Jerusalem, Samaritans believe in mountain Gerizim.
Yes.
Okay, what else can I tell you about the Samaritans here?
Like this now.
Yeah, this is the current high priest.
Uh-huh.
He is 83 years old and he is the leader of the Samaritans. We'll just talk a bit here. Now I'm going to talk about the Samaritans' origin. Here, we have the track of the generation started from Adam to Moses, but we will start from Abraham, okay? They started from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. From Jacob, the 12 tribes, the 12 sons of Jacob, or the 12 tribes of Israel, who are the Jewish and the Samaritans. Okay, and after...
From which tribe are the Samaritans?
Nowadays, from Levi and the two sons of Joseph. Ephraim and Manasseh. So the Samaritans you meet today, they must be descendant from Levi or from the two sons of Joseph, Ephraim or Manasseh. وانت من مين؟
أنا من إفريم.
From Ephraim. لطيف يعني؟ لطيف. So you can see, you're gonna meet a lot of Samaritans who are Levites, priest family, and others who are from the two sons of Joseph. Now I will just hint on something which is very important, that the Samaritans have a leader. The leader is called the high priest.
Yes.
Okay, and who should be the high priest, or who can be the high priest? Only the oldest man in age from the Levi family. So this high priest right now, he is the oldest Levi in the community.
I see, yes.
And since
Now
the,
here,
yeah.
with Abraham, we have, this is one wife,
No. It's
a son.
no, actually,
No.
this is like we will just focus on here. Abraham,
Oh,
then
yes.
Isaac and Ishmael. Muslims
Yes.
from Ishmael, Jewish, Christians, and Samaritans from Isaac.
Yes, okay. Ishmael is the first son.
Yeah, the oldest one. That's right.
Yes,
The first one. That's right.
yes. And in Torah it says that God made a covenant with Abraham for all of his descendants, without distinction between Ishmael and Isaac,
Of course,
both together.
Yeah. Because that's why, sir, we believe that Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Samaritans, we are all the sons of Abraham.
Yes.
That's right?
Yeah.
Like our father Abraham. That's why we called it our father Abraham. At the end of the day, we are cousins.
Yes.
احنا بالنهاية كنا أولاد عم صح يا عمو.
I'm named after Abraham myself.
Yeah, you're Abraham,
Yes.
and I am Marwa. Nice meeting you. Okay, this is the track of the generations of the high priests. They started to count from, or they started to, the track of the generations starting from Eliezer, the son of Aaron, till today. They have 137 generations of high priests. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And maybe you will ask, like, why the Samaritans know about their history that much? That because of the number of the years they have been living in the Holy Lands, and we are talking about 3,654 years. I'm going to show you the Samaritans' calendar.
3,654 years.
عمو انت بلشتوا ال 55 هلا بلشتوا 55 Okay, so recently they started like 3,655
Yes.
like they had the new year.
Yes.
Okay, but this is the number of the years they have been living in the Holy Lands, and this is how the Samaritans' calendar looks like. They start to count from day one in the Holy Lands till today.
Oh, yes.
So like how the Jewish and the Muslims and the Christians have their own calendar, Samaritans are the same case.
Oh, wow.
Okay, what else do we have to talk about? Yeah, for example, the Samaritans' religion is about believing in 5 principles. You should believe in God, one and only. You should believe in Moses as your prophet. You should believe in the Torah. And by the way, when I say the Torah, I mean the first 5 books of Moses.
Yes.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy.
Yes.
Okay. Number 4, Mountain Gerizim as the holy place.
Yes.
They believe that this is the holy place for them, of course. And the last principle is the day of judgment. They believe in hell and heaven, of course.
Oh, yes.
يوم البعث.
يوم البعث بالضبط يوم القيامة. Okay, and let's talk a bit about this painting because it's very important here. But before that, can you guess what it is? What is that? This is the Samaritans' mezuzah. Are you familiar with the word mezuzah?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah. This is a verse from the Torah. For example, this is Shema Israel.
Oh, yes.
And,
He showed it me in his house. He showed me.
In his house. Did you notice where he is hanging
every
it?
house.
Above the door of the house.
Oh, this was inside the house.
And
But
for the Jewish,
at
it's
the
on the
synagogue,
side.
I saw it was above the door.
Yeah,
Yes.
in every single house
Every-
they have it
every
above
house.
the door. While I think the
But
Jewish it's
also
on the
above the
side.
door.
Above the door,
Oh,
the
yes.
Jewish on the side.
Yes,
it's
the
like a
others-
small scroll. You just
That's
touch
right,
it,
yeah.
but for the Samaritans, a stone above the door. The shops, the houses, everything.
Everything. These are archaeological diggings?
Yeah, mostly like has to do with the Samaritans. عمو بتقدر تقرأ لشما إسرائيل؟ Okay, he will read for you this verse, which is Shema Israel. You will hear it like in ancient Hebrew.
Okay.
اشتبه إيلو ومتقيلة الله عاد شيما إسرائيل شيما إيلوين وشيما عاد وإبطا إتشيما إيلوك أفكل بابك وافكل نفسك وافكل مئودك ويو الدبار إلا إيسر آناكي أمصابك أيوم علي بابك شنن تم ألبانك دبرتها بمه أفشطك ببت أبلكتك بديرك بشكابك وبقومك قاشر تمالوت على يدك وايو التطافت بين إينك كاتب تمه على المازوزة بتك وفي شهرك زي كتاب مش كتابتي
Yeah, this is like written in ancient Hebrew. And did you notice how it sounds? It's different from modern Hebrew.
Yes, it does.
different
Yeah.
Different, of course, because this is ancient
speaking
Hebrew.
different.
Yeah, of course, in a different way. Okay, I will just talk about this.
تقرأيها هلا اليوم
والله لا مش حافظها بس بتابع شوي مثلا بين إينك وهذا وفهمت شو معناها. Okay, so this is about the blessings and the cursings of the two mountains of Nablus. This is Nablus, okay? In between two valleys. It's in the valley between two mountains. Here, the northern one, the southern one, which is Mountain Gerizim, and the other one is Mountain Ebal. Now, according to Samaritans, when the Israelites came to the Holy Lands, they came to Shechem, to Nablus. And half of the tribes, you know about the 12 tribes of Jacob? Half of the tribes...
It was called Shechem at that time, or Salome?
No,
The Canaanite name was Salome.
Yeah, but the name was like Shechem, I think. No,
But before Shechem, it was in the Canaanite.
شكيم اسمها كان شكيم.
بس قبليها ايش كان اسمها؟ ما بعرف انا.
لا هي اسمها شكيم، هي اساسا الاسم القديم تاعها سماها يعقوب شكيم لان هي على كتف.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk according to Samaritans what they say about the name. It's called Shechem. Shechem means the shoulder, and it was named. Who named it? Yeah, Jacob. Jacob named Nablus as Shechem. Shechem, which means the shoulder of Mountain Gerizim. So now you know the meaning of Shechem.
Okay.
The shoulder of Mountain Gerizim. So half of the tribes stood on the top of Mountain Gerizim, and the other half on the top of Mountain Ebal. Now, these who were here, they were blessing the people of Israelites who are following the rules of the God and the Torah.
Yes.
But the others on Mountain Ebal were cursing anybody who doesn't follow the rules of God and the rules of the Torah. That's why Mountain Gerizim is called the blessed mountain and Mountain Ebal is the cursed one.
Oh.
This is like the reason because the
What was exactly the difference between the two? Why were they making a curse?
It's just about
Can't
our
she know what he is speaking, but I am speaking. I am not speaking well.
Yeah. هلا احنا okay, the major thing is that these two these tribes were trying to say something or deliver like a message for the Israelites that if you followed the rules of the Torah and the rules of God, then you are in the safe side. But the blessing took the place here.
Yes.
Okay? And the curses were from the other mountain. And it seems that because the blessings were from here and the curses from here, so the mountain was affected by the blessings and the other one by the curses.
But I wonder why were they cursing?
Cursing because if anybody doesn't follow the rules of the Torah and God, he will be cursed.
Oh, so they took a different perspective. Yes.
مش معنى انه هذا ملعون الجبل، لا بس هو هذا
عشان صارت من عنده اللعنه، انتوا صرتوا تآمنوا انه هو مكان اللعنه.
هذا مش ملعون. مكان اللي صارت اللعنه.
من هيك وضحت له على فكره عشان تكون عارف يعني، بس انه كانه تاثر. هلا مثلا كان حسن شو بيحكي، بصير يقول انه عشان هيك هذا الجبل مبارك بتلاقي فيه شجر، بتلاقي فيه مي، هذاك الجبل لانه ملعون ما فيهوش لا مي ولا فيه شجر.
انا مفهوم.
قرأت يعني اوكي خلص اوكي. انا طبعا اي شيء بنحكى لي بحكي زي ما هو.
مفهوم الخاص هو. انا بقول هذا مش معناه انه جبل اللعنه انه هذا بس لانه هو
البركه صارت من هذا الجبل وهذاك اللعنه. تمام يعني. He's like trying to emphasize on a major idea that maybe the names of like this is a blessing one and this is a cursing one because the blesses happened here on this mountain and the curses happened from the other mountain. But that doesn't mean like it's 100% cursed or this is, you know what I'm trying to say? But why the Samaritans believe this is the blessed one or the choose one because there's the verse in the Torah said that God created the blessed on Mount Gerizim. That's why they believe it's the blessed one and the place for the Samaritans. Okay?
Yes. This is
ما خلوش شيء الا صلحوه حتى الصحراء خلوها خضراء مش معنى نفس الشيء نقول على اللعنه لانه ملعون لانه بيشتري شجر ولا
انا والله هيك بس ما بحكي لا بس شوف انا ما حكيت البركه انا حكيت له بالتفق يعني المهم انه عشان البركه صارت من هذا الجبل فانتسب له كانه اما هذاك صار من عنده اللعنه فعشان هيك صار اسمه زي
اسمه جبل اللعنه على اساس انه
اللعنه صارت بهذا المكان مفهوم عمو تمام اصلا يعني انا دخلت من هذاك الجبل بس كان في الناس الثانيين بقول لك يعني ما دخلش
في ناس من اهل الشعور
This is a very beautiful sculpture.
أقدس بلد في العالم هذه هذه البلد كلها أنبياء دائما
بعدين فيها كل الناس اللي عايشين مع بعض ومبسوطين الحمد لله انا عمري زرتكم بعد زرتكم كنت مروان
نسيت مظبوط
بس لما ما
If you want anything, you can call me. If you want anything, you can call me. I want to return to the home.
Okay.
If you want to eat, you must.
To the restaurant there, yes, I saw. But yes, so that's why I brought the exhibition to them. So this too. This is looks like writing in ancient Hebrew.
Yeah, it's like an ancient Hebrew and Greek.
And Greek.
Because the Samaritans, when they were living here, they witnessed every empire came here.
Yes.
So definitely they had left something like, a kind of a mark or an evidence that they were here.
Yes.
Okay, so how about like you have a look around and that will be like telling you a bit about the Samaritans. For example, that the
This is
Samaritans...
a tomb. This is for burial.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
They used to put for little babies sometimes, and sometimes for the remains of someone's body. You know what I'm trying to say?
What I heard at the museum is that after a person was buried, what remained was their bones, and then their bones were reburied in a box like this.
Some people used it for kids, and some others for, like you said, the remains. The remains of the bones of this man. They used to put it here.
Yes.
Today, the population of the Samaritans is 785 Samaritans in all the world, so they are a small minority. They live in two places. You can find half of them here on Mount Gerizim, and the other half lives in Holon near Tel Aviv. It's an Israeli city near Tel Aviv. Samaritans who live on Mount Gerizim, they have 3 identification cards: the Palestinian, the Jordanian, and the Israeli. So they are a special case. Do you know why? Because in Palestine, they can study, they can work, they can live. And the same thing in Israel. If anybody wants to work or anybody wants to live.
So they have a high degree of freedom.
Yeah, it's somehow, like this. And I think the major reason for this kind of specialty is that they are a minority.
Yes.
Yeah, and they are more, 785. They're not that much big.
That's right.
But the rituals, the religious rituals should take place here on this mountain, on Mount Gerizim. All the time they all cousins and relatives and all that, but recently you can find there is Jewish ladies who married to Samaritans or Christians married to Samaritans, and that because they don't have enough girls in the community. What I mean, not enough girls, that there is a lot of men while there is not enough women. So instead of marrying a Samaritan lady, they married from Jewish or from Christians, but they put a condition for the marriage, and it's conversion. That ladies should become Samaritans before the marriage.
What about Palestinians? Do they ever marry with Palestinians?
No. Actually,
Otherwise
they had 2 Muslims from Azerbaijan near Turkey, not even from Palestine. No. And even the Christians are from abroad, not from Palestine. They are from Ukraine.
It's very difficult marriage in Israel. There's only marriage by Orthodox rabbis.
No, actually, for us, for example, I'm a Muslim and I work here, and for Muslims ladies should marry Muslim men. It's like something in our religion, so it's not an easy thing.
Yes. So the Samaritans are specialists in astronomy.
Yeah, they pay a lot of attention to it.
Yes. And astronomy, and what is the other science that you mentioned?
Astrology.
Astrology.
Yeah, someone has to do with the signs, someone has to do with the names. The movement of the moon, and others about you have a good fortune.
Yes. This book is 450 years old. And it's written in Arabic.
Yeah.
So Arabic is another language of the Samaritans.
Yeah. But the religious language is ancient Hebrew, and they practice it in the Sabbats, in the ceremonies, while they're praying, while they're reading the Quran. Yeah.
A history book.
Yeah, history book. So we are talking about more than 3,000 years.
This is very important. I wonder if it's translated.
I don't know.
Yes. And these are coins from the various empires?
Yeah. From different lifetimes.
Yes. Thank you so much for your explanations.
You're so welcome.
It's very important with the work that you are doing here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, it's a good thing,
Yes.
to deal with people from different religions and different cultures.
Oh, yes, you are preserving history.
Yeah, it's like you exploring the world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Did you Hello. I'm Dr. Abraham from Canada.
Oh, welcome.
Are you the priest?
I'm priest.
Oh, very good to meet you.
Welcome.
Yes. I was going to stay for Mincha Maariv.
YouTube?
Yes, I am.
What do you make YouTube media?
I make videos of everything that I learn, and I put it on YouTube for other people to learn also.
يعني كان هو بيسجل ايش بيتعلم من الناس وبحطهم على اليوتيوب عشان الناس اللي مش سامعين عندكم يعرفوا او مش سامعين عن اماكن معينه فبصور وبحط بس يعني خلصنا حكي يعني فمش عارفه اذا بدك يعني غطينا حتى التيم اي شيء بدك تحكي.
I am raised in Orthodox Judaism.
Orthodox.
Yes, my parents were from Poland. My mother was from Warsaw, and the first language that she spoke with me was in Yiddish.
Yiddish.
And then I worked in translation of the Torah from Hebrew to English at Talmud Torah. I'm showing the Torah. This is a series of photos on Sukkot. Oh. Sitrok. Okay, now I'll move to the pilgrimage. That is at the top of Mount Gerizim, which is Isaac's altar, where Abraham took his son. I want to make this museum well known so that many more people will come to see what work you have done here. It's very important work, I think. Yes. This is a shofar. Yes. A very
Jewish or Christian?
No, me, I'm Jewish.
Jewish.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I am living in Nablus with the Palestinians. I work as a volunteer with the Tanwir. I am helping out the Palestinians so that they can be heard, so the voice of the Palestinians can be heard in the world.
You know what this?
No.
No one in all the world to opine. To meaning, what the meaning is. Star David only I am.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Here, Shem,
Yes.
Kadesh, Hebron.
Yes.
The Arre Maklat, you speak Hebrew?
No.
Little Arre Maklat, this is shelter.
Shelter.
Yes, and here remote, Golan, Mossad. You can't see here. This is the
Triangle.
Triangle,
Yeah.
triangle.
Yes.
Kadesh, Hebron, Shechem, triangle. Golan, Mossad, remote, triangle. Together, this is Magen David. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes. Yes, it's
This is
logical.
قولي له هذول عارفين ثلاثة في الهون وثلاثة من برا النار.
It's like the cities of refugees or the cities of shelters.
Yes.
And 6 like before Jordanian River and the other, 3 before Jordanian River and 3 after.
And these areas, these colors are the different tribes?
This is the 12 of the tribes.
The 12 tribes,
Please.
yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12. What the meaning 12?
Oh, yes.
When the Israelis together, this is strong.
Uh-huh.
What the meaning Menashe? Because we took here half and here half.
Yes.
It's like the mutual area.
Yes.
Mutual-
What the meaning again? This is strong.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay?
Yes.
I explain. Only no one in all the world. I am explaining this.
Yes.
And here you can see. Okay?
Yes, this is
This is when the Israelis حكيت له انت على except from Ramses, we go to Sukkot between the Mediterranean Sea and the Lake of the Badawin, and we return to Egypt. When we return to Egypt, we took the bones of Joseph. So the soldier of Egypt, we wanted to kill the Israelis to across the sea.
this. I did not know about this voyage. Why is it that they came back to Egypt?
To took the bones of Joseph.
The bones of Joseph.
Yeah, we forget the bones of Joseph here. So when we received here, 2 weeks you come to receive to the Canaan.
Yes.
But the God to return to, please, here, Derek Eretz Palestine, the road to Palestinian. Here, Ulana Imma Elu and Derek Faris Palestine kick up this from the Torah. Loni Cham Elohim, Derek Eretz Palestine, Kikarubu, when they to be battle, so we afraid, so we return. No, the God, Yasab, Shemana Yasab, to return to Egypt. Here, this is from the Bible. When we returned to Egypt, we took the bones of Joseph, the soldier of Egypt, we wanted to kill the Israelis, so across the sea.
Yes.
Please, I want to tell you, before 2 years, we invite to me here to Mitzvah Ramon, Har Karkum. We told me the God 10 to Moses 10 commandments here. I told them this is wrong. The God 10 to Moses here.
Yes.
In the Mount Sinai. Not here. Why? Because after 50 days from Ramses to Sukkot and to return to Mount Sinai to Kadesh Barnea, 1.5 years.
Oh, yes.
From Petra, where is the Aaron died, to the Har Nabo, Jericho, half year. But here 38 years. Here.
Yes.
Okay? So no one in all the world to appoint 42 stations on the island.
Yes, it was 38 years. And during this time, there was a national assembly every year. All the people came together to make an assembly every year. I read there was.
بيجتمعوا كل سنة بيعملوا زي اجتماع كل سنة هون
Here.
في هاي المنطقة
But
عشان
this is not right.
No, not the Torah, but the national assemblies. They had
مؤسسات وضعيات بيعملوا اجتماعات هون كل سنة.
like a
I
national
know,
assembly.
أنا اشتركت في واحد منها.
Yeah, he participated
I
in all
know,
of them.
but I put this is in the projector. I told them this is wrong. Here.
Yes.
Yes.
And this here is Saudi Arabia now. This area.
Yes.
This is Saudi.
Saudi. This is Saudi. Okay.
Yes. Here,
Saudi.
Yemen. Here. This is Saudi
Oh.
Arabia. Yes. From here. Yeah.
The others we said the Midian here. No, the Midian here, not here. Why? How the Moses across the sea?
Yeah.
No. We can't.
Yeah.
Please, in this book, I translate to English and to Hebrew. After one month, you can to read in English and Hebrew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh, this is the same map
In
again.
English, yes, this is the same.
Oh, okay. I will make a copy of.
Hello.
And you are Hosni Kahan.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes.
قولي له هو هذا المتحف صغير عماله بده يبني متحف بده يكلف $5 ملايين.
Okay, actually, this is like the current museum, but he's planning to make this one, which is gonna cost like around $5 million.
At the beginning of this movie, you saw you saw a TRT World presentation. You know, that 6-year young Palestinian girl who was murdered by Zionists. There's no question about this. I guess it's alleged still or something, but we know what happened. Anyway, this next clip is from Al Jazeera English, and it came out on January 30th, 2024.
The Palestinian Red Crescent has released an audio recording of a Palestinian girl who was shot by Israeli forces. Layan Hamada contacted paramedics for help whilst the car her family was travelling in was surrounded by Israeli forces. Layan died as her younger sister Hind remained trapped inside the vehicle in Gaza City. And just to warn you that the contents of this audio recording are disturbing.
Hello?
الو مرحبا عمو
انتوا مش هتدخلوا علينا.
الو مرحبا
ايوه بتدخلوا علينا. الدبابة جنبي.
انتوا متخبيين؟
في السيارة احنا جنبينا الدبابة.
انتوا جوا السيارة؟ الو 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 مهدي.
Nabal Farsak is a spokeswoman with the Palestine Red Crescent Society, and she says they've still not heard back from 6-year-old Hind, nor from the emergency teams that responded to the distress call from her sister, Layan.
It's just one of the most distressing and devastating moments for the Palestine Red Crescent team. So this was the sound of Layan. She's 15 years old, and she was over the phone with the Palestine Red Crescent team. She was mentioning that she was surrounded by the Israeli tanks and Israeli soldiers were firing at her, and our staff heard the sound of continuous gunfire at Layan, which it sounds she was killed, and our team continued to stay to follow up with a little girl, and she was still the only survivor inside the car, and is only 6 years old. She remained trapped inside the car, surrounded by the Israeli occupation tanks and soldiers. Inside the car, there is around 6 family members. All of them are killed, the mother, the father, and 4 children. And our ambulance team went to rescue him yesterday evening, 6 p.m. Up to this moment, for over 20 hours, we are still lost contact with our team there. We still remain unaware of their fate and whether they succeeded in evacuating him or not. We feel extremely worried regarding the safety of our teams who went to rescue him. We have reported arriving at the location, and they were very close to the car. At that time, we have completely lost contact with them. Up to this moment, we haven't heard back from them, and we are not sure if they were able to evacuate him or not yet. We don't know even thereabouts or what happened to them. Are they arrested? Are being targeted? Is it just because of the communication blackout? So we're still extremely worried regarding our team, and we're unaware of what happened to them. At the same time, we're also worried at the little girl, Hind, because we have lost contact with her as well. And she's only 6 years old, trapped in the car, and she was very terrified.
And now covering more recent news. For those of you who don't understand or are too busy watching American corporatized television, this is from Al Jazeera English, and it came out on April 23rd, 2024.
Well, for more on all of this, we're joined now by Kristen Salumi, who is at New York University. Kristen, can you just talk us through what is happening there right now and how much momentum is behind these protests?
Well, NYU demonstrators have been going at it for hours here in a park that's actually just off of the NYU campus. They've been here since a few hours ago after getting kicked off of their own campus due to arrests. 133 students and teachers were actually arrested on campus last night. The university claiming they were disruptive and a danger to the students there. But as news spread of their arrests, so have demonstrations around the country at other colleges and universities. Police moved in after dark to arrest demonstrators at New York University, where over 100 students and teachers defied orders to leave a school plaza or face consequences. There were arrests at Yale University, too, dozens of them. These students and others across the country coming out in protest of Israel's devastating war on Gaza and in solidarity with Columbia University students. There, the so-called Gaza Solidarity encampment has been re-erected after the school called in police to arrest more than 100 students and dismantle it last week. We demand that all Columbia's faculty joined protesters to condemn the move, initiated by the university president, who canceled in-person classes Monday to address security concerns.
The president's decision to send riot police to pick up peaceful protesters on our campus was unprecedented, unjustified, disproportionate, divisive, and dangerous.
They are outraged not only by the arrest, but also by President Nahmat Manouche Shafiq's testimony before Congress, while conservative representatives called for Shafiq's resignation for not doing more to crack down on demonstrators. The school Senate, consisting of students, faculty, and administrators, is expected to vote to censure her as early as Wednesday.
It's very important for faculty to defend the university in a way that our president did not before Congress.
Student demonstrators, including Jewish student demonstrators, deny accusations of anti-Semitism. At Columbia University, they even stopped their protest to celebrate the first night of Passover. They describe their movement as peaceful and blame any antagonistic, inflammatory statements or actions on outsiders. From California's State Polytechnic University on the West Coast to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and Emerson College on the East, the demands for school leaders are the same.
We want Emerson College, number one, call for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Number two, to disclose all financial investments in Zionist organizations. Number three, to divest from those organizations. Number four, to drop all charges against students for disciplinary actions.
Attempts to silence the movement only amplifying its call. Kristen Salumi, Al Jazeera, New York. And speaking to demonstrators here today, I was struck by how many of them were actually wearing masks and covering their faces. They say that they're concerned about blowback and discrimination against them for supporting this cause, but say that they will continue. In fact, many have left the park here to join demonstrations up at Columbia University and support other schools in the city. A school by the name of the New School also seeing demonstrators here in Minnesota, the state of Minnesota, the state of Michigan, the state of Pennsylvania today have all added demonstrations with students there. The mayor of New York has expressed concern that these protests will attract agitators who are looking to do harm. While he defended the students' right to protest, he said that they had concerns that there would be more violence and action, although the protests have been overwhelmingly peaceful at this point. The demonstrators I spoke to here said that absolutely they were peaceful in intent. They're not anti-Semitic. They say that things only got out of hand when the police arrived. Tom?
Okay. Thank you so much, Kristen. Kristen Salumi for us there outside New York University. Well, protests have also been held in Tel Aviv, where pressure is mounting on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Relatives of captives and their supporters taped their mouths with the message, 200 days and nothing has changed. Talks on freeing captives held in Gaza have stalled as Israel has refused to accept a permanent ceasefire.
And my brother-in-law is back there in Gaza. And with 132 more people, it's too much. It needs to be end. We need to have our peace, and the families need to have peace, and this country need to have peace.
Well, the head of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees says Israel's recent attacks on the group are part of a push to remove the organisation from the Gaza Strip. In January, Israel accused some UNRWA staff of involvement in Hamas's October 7th attacks. But a review of the agency's operations released on Monday stated that Israel has not provided supporting evidence for its claim. Well, the authors of that review made a list of recommendations to ensure accountability and the neutrality of UNRWA. Earlier, my colleague Rob Matheson spoke to the agency's commissioner, Philippe Lazzarini. He began by asking him if he thought that would help restore confidence in UNRWA.
I really hope that the report will help us to restore the confidence of our partners and the donors. The Secretary General and myself have welcomed the report. We have welcomed also the recommendation. And you might have noticed that the report clearly indicated that the agency already have a number of robust mechanisms to deal with a neutrality issue, and that these mechanisms are above, I would say, the standard of many other agencies or international NGOs. But because of the nature of the conflict we are dealing with and the complexity of our environment, it is needed to do even better. And this is the reason why we embrace, and I embrace, the recommendation made by Catherine Colonna and her team. And we are now preparing a response plan to follow up on this recommendation.
During your press conference, you gave a long list of the level of damage to UNRWA property and, of course, the effect that this has had on UNRWA staff, the arrests that have been carried out and so on. What is the morale of staff at UNRWA at the moment? Of course, not just in Gaza, but in all the areas that it operates, when it must, I would imagine, feel that it is under constant pressure.
Yeah, UNRWA is under constant attack, constant pressure, constant call of dismantling, constant administrative harassment, and also constant, I would say sometimes, social media assassination. And this has definitely an impact on our staff. You might also have seen over the last few days, there have been an opinion poll, and also within the population in the West Bank and in Gaza, there is a deep anxiety that if the agency is dismantled, that this would also put an end to the two-state solution. I was at the Security Council last week, and basically I told the member that the attack on UNRWA have nothing to do with neutrality issues, but in reality they are motivated by the objective to strip the Palestinians from their refugee status.
You also mentioned in your press conference that within 24 hours of the allegations originally being made by Israel about members of UNRWA allegedly taking part in the Hamas-led October 7th attacks in southern Israel, 16 to 18 countries have pulled their funding. How concerned and how worried are you that countries are prepared to pull funding so quickly before allegations are actually determined to be founded?
That shows also the unprecedented crisis and challenges the agency is currently facing and dealing with. It is true that 16 countries within 48 hours announced their pause, but the good news is that since most of the countries have reviewed the decision and have reinstated the contribution to the agency. At the time they took the decision, the agency basically had no visibility anymore about its financial contribution. Today, thanks to the fact that most of the donors have come back and new donors have also joined the agencies, we have slightly more visibilities, and I can say with some comfort that we have enough resources to keep our activities running at least till the end of June and go into the month of July. But it's very precarious, and we continue to function hand to mouth.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.
I hope everybody is enjoying this Haggadah-Palestine. I was hesitant to make this Haggadah-Palestine until I realized I really should, especially because I'm very busy and I don't want anybody thinking that I'm ghosting them. I am not ghosting Dr. Weizfeld. I'm not ghosting Andrew Like. I've spoken a bit to Mark Foster. Mark Foster, has the direct line currently to me. And, in order that the rest of the Vanguard Circle may see this video, I'm going to have to send this video to him so that he can share it with everybody. I'm very, very busy right now. I'm overbooked. But I wish everybody a happy Pesach. And let me just give you a taste of what's going on. Because, I'm doing a lot of footage, but it's for my channel. That's the channel called Comrade Net, not this channel, the Bundists movement. The Bundists movement is not exclusively mine. I may be the primary host putting stuff here, but this is also Dr. Weizfeld's channel, which means he can put up anything here he wants at any time he wants. And I'm really, really grateful to him that he has never put up anything here on Shabbos, and I deeply appreciate that. Because technically he could. I mean, and if he's absolutely has to, and it's an emergency, we have that whole cow in the ditch thing, that you save the cow when it's in a ditch, even if it means the violation of the Sabbath. Violate one Sabbath to keep many Sabbaths. Yeah, something a lot of Christians do not know about us. Anyway, yeah, this video is footage from me. I'm using the camera all the time now, and I'm gathering stuff for, like I said, a documentary on the channel known as Comrade Net, which is my personal channel. This is not my personal channel. This is a channel which is run and operated by both myself and Dr. Weizfeld. Anyway, roll film.
Okay, so I want to show you something. But first, let me just fact check something for everybody here. By the way, right above me is Bell Road. Yeah, right above me is Bell Road. I am under Bell Road. Oh yeah, so anyway, like I said, I'm fact checking. It is Tuesday, April 23rd of the year 2024, and I am going to show you what I got today for my wife and 2 children, because we do Pesach every year. Pesach, by the way, means Passover, so if you're familiar with the Jewish holiday Passover. I should probably take this moment to express that I think probably more about Palestine on the Pesach season than any other time. And that's largely because of the universal themes of freedom in there. So, not to mention it's always next year in Jerusalem, and Jerusalem is Palestinian, by the way. Something to know. Hold on a second. I am... I had to check this thing and make sure that there were no overt Zionist references, because they sure do like to sneak stuff like that in there. But this is the Passover Haggadah, an ancient story from modern times. It's even good for people who have Christians in their family. I'd say probably Muslims too, but the author gives certain insights into somewhat of an interfaith background. But this is not a Christian book. I should warn you, this is actually a Jewish one. And yet, you see a lot more Jewish openness to the Christians and the Muslims to invite you to Jewish holidays. And a lot of Christians are interested in that. And you'd be surprised how many Muslims are these days interested in that. We've gone through a separation period, in a lot of ways, largely because the Western Church is that bad, and the Western Church kept a lot of people separated from each other. And while the 3 distinct Abrahamic religions are distinct, the actual conflict that keeps them going is the spirit of a crusade, which I would say that Zionism is the continuation of that. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this, and I will catch you all later. Where is the end record?
So finally, I'm going to take you to a video from Bim Bam, originally known as Godcast. Now, Bim Bam is no longer producing stuff from what I know. They haven't for some years now. Very sad. But as is permitted by the rules of fair use, as no rules are being broken here, I will finish this video with a video from Bim Bam. Now, this video originally came out on March 25th, 2010. That's March 25th, 2010. However, people had apparently complained about the sound quality. So on April 1st, 2011, it was uploaded again to the channel, but with better quality. I could upload the original one for this video, but I did just decide, screw it, I'm going to give the one with the better sound quality. The source to this video, of course, like all of them, will be in the description. The only thing that you won't get a link to is the footage that I took of myself with that Passover Haggadah. Chais Meach, Happy Passover, Gut Pesach. Next year now, Quds free Jerusalem, free Jerusalem. Let her people go. The Pharaoh of today, in this context, is the Zionist state. Palestine, they need their liberation. Whether Jewish, Christian, or Muslim, or Samaritan, or Druze, the Palestinians have a right to dignity and freedom without the Zionist state existing to terrorize them. If there is a question about Hebrews, post-Jewish Hebrew people, whatever, that is another matter altogether, although no territorial rights should be given to such squatters. Autonomy, yeah. Now this would be, I want to distinguish myself from Dr. Weizfeld on this one because I don't think he shares the same view, but I want to make clear that my position is that these Hebrews need corrective thinking, and they need the same kind of denazification, actually a more harsh denazification themselves. I don't know if Dr. Weizfeld holds that position exactly. I'm not so sure he does. If you want to know the full view of how he proposes to handle the crisis of this occupation, I suggest you read The Federation of Palestinian and Hebrew Nations by Dr. Weizfeld, which is a good book, because I'm not going to lie and say I agree with it 100%, but I agree with most of it. Most of it I really do agree with. And I think that it opened up a lot of inspiration for other people who have similar ideas. So anyway, yeah, like I said, this next video came out on March 25th, 2010 originally, but they did it again on April 1st, 2011 from the channel Bim Bam. It's a great understanding of what Pesach is about. And yeah, long live the Jewish diaspora, and long live Palestine.
Karpus, Beitzah, Zeroa, Chroset, Maror, and of course, Matzah. Aren't I wise? I know all about Passover. We were slaves in Egypt. Then Moses got up in Pharaoh's face with frogs and locusts all, "Let my people go." And then Pharaoh was like, "Yo, enough already, get out of here." To honor my parents, I'll ask a question at the Seder tonight. What is the meaning of all of this? Of all the commandments and laws and traditions that God commanded you? After all, I am the wise son. I want to know.
Oh, please, Mr. Wise Guy. Lighten up. He drives our parents crazy. I can't believe we're still doing this. I mean, hello, pharaohs? They don't exist anymore. There was an exodus, movement of the people. We're free. Why do we need to sit around for a zillion hours every year talking about it? Mom, Dad, Aunt Ruth, what's the meaning of all this Seder stuff to you?
I can't believe he would say such a thing. How pompous.
Look who's calling me pompous.
If you were in Egypt, God wouldn't have freed you.
Well, if you were in Egypt, everyone would have been so bored of you that they would have thrown you over into the Nile.
Why, you little...
Hey, guys, what's this?
The Passover Seder plate, you blithering simpleton.
You wouldn't understand. It's very wise.
What do you do at a Passover Seder?
Pretty much, you starve for a long time and then, finally, you get to have matzo ball soup.
We read together from this book that tells of our departure from the land of Egypt.
There are all these arguments in there. Like, some people think there were 10 plagues, and some people think there were 40, and some people think there were 50.
Disagreeing is part of the learning. They're all different ways to add up to the same thing.
So they still argue about it. That's my favorite part.
Oh! This is the holiday where we eat all those special foods.
Duh, that's every holiday.
It's not about the eating. It's about the symbols. The Choroset is a tasty way to remember the bricks and cement our ancestors mixed. The bitter herbs are about...
Bitterness?
Oh, my stars and garters.
Well, he's right.
I like eating. It means we're free.
I suppose that is a sign of freedom, sitting around and enjoying a meal with the family.
And showing off with the questions we ask.
Hey, what about Junior?
Dudes, is it another holiday already? Whoa, I can't believe he even came tonight.
Yeah, he never shows up. Jealous.
I bet he doesn't even know how to ask a question.
Why don't we show him?
You could ask, why is this night different from all other nights?
Or, how can we sit here and celebrate freedom while there is still slavery and suffering in the world?
Or, where's the challah?
How about, why don't we have any sisters?